Welcome to the much delayed 17th Colonel Marbles Miniatures Review vidcast. I'm trying to get back on track timing wise as soon as possible. However, I think you'll find the wait has been worth it because we've got an excellent show for you, so let's crack on. I'm pleased to say that the show continues to be sponsored by Rattlehead Games, fine purveyors of many of the independent sci-fi and fantasy miniature ranges you'll see featured here. At number 10 this week, it's Ginfritter's Gnomish Workshop. They've released 3 new 28mm fantasy miniatures in a new Brew Party range. My favourite is featured here, Hurley Ralphson, the dwarf who couldn't hold his own, available for $4.99 US. Magnificent Ego's new releases are at number 9. First we have a rather neat-looking Tumin Cloverleaf dogfighter with his 2 mean-looking Rottweilers, sculpted by Tom Mason and retailing for $9.99 US. And then there is Monty Hall Archwizard. Not doing a lot for me this one, I'm afraid. The pose seems quite stilted and the flying carpet incongruous. Anyway, it's sculpted by Bobby Jackson and sells for $6.99 US. At number 8 we have our old French chums MSB Toys. These are releases from a new range called Rikiki Muse, believe it or not. Anyway, Hannah, the girl, sells for €9.50, and Mikey, the boy, also sells for the same amount. The question I have to ask is, just who is buying this stuff? Reaper miniatures are at number 7 this week. This release caught my eye, a new Ettin sculpted by John Manor. A really good monster sculpt, and I like the necklace made of hands around the 2 necks. Next up is this Dryad by Patrick Keith of Morgan Keith Studios. She's very nice and may well find her way into my Wood Elf army at some point. At 6 we have Zodiac miniatures. Morgan Keith Studios are producing an all-new Zodiac miniatures line in 2007. Each month of the year, a design will be released to coincide with that month's astrological sign. This is a preview of a female satyr meant to represent Capricorn. Also in the works are a robed water bearer for Aquarius and another hoofed beauty for Aries. At number 5 we have Impact miniatures. Firstly we have these 2 new Anubis Blood Bowl players, a thrower and a blitzer, sculpted by Victoria Lamb and costing £2.50 UK. And next up is Tom DeWolf's Werewolf Runner and a seated halfling spectator, costing £2.50 and £4 UK respectively. At number 4 we have new releases from Privateer Press's War Machine. This Protectorate Reclaimer looks just great. I guess guys in breathing masks must really do it for me. And these are some of the Khador Assault Commandos coming out in January 2007. I have to say they look a bit daft to me, but you pay your money, you make your choice. This episode sponsored in part by the Fiend Foundry, who produce quality resin terrain at an affordable price. And it's another French company at number 3, Fenrir Miniatures. This is the first of the Putrid brothers, but I'm afraid I can't tell you much more about them, since my French is pretty abysmal. But this undead samurai goblin type dude has to be my favourite of the 2 brothers. Robbed, some people might even say cheated, out of the number 1 spot this week, featuring at number 2 it's Hordes from Privateer Press. Super talented Spanish sculptor Felix Penagua has completed these excellent greens. First on show are these 2 Trollkin scribes, both wielding meaty axes. But my favourite has to be this Trollkin Creelstone bearer, which looks really good, a really different subject. Reminds me of that fat guy from Asterix. What was his name? Part sponsored by Blue Table Painting, your first choice for a quality miniatures painting service. Stepping up to take the number 1 spot this week, it's Rackham. It struck me recently that the quality of Rackham sculpts are sometimes unfairly taken for granted these days. This, I believe, is a Beckbunsen General, another amazing figure with a really over-the-top boar's head helmet decoration. It's just superb. This is a Midnor Abyssal Warrior, apparently for use in the Cadwallon game. It's up to the usual highly detailed Rackham standard, with plenty of character too. But the one figure that really blew me away this week was this wonderful new elf figure. Great style and pose. They've really captured the graceful, flowing movement you'd expect of a deadly elf warrior. Fantastic. Well, that just about wraps up another week's show. I also just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's posted their comments on the recent birth of my daughter, and to promise you that I'll get the show back on time just as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week.